Stamford is a historic town located in South Lincolnshire, located just over 90 miles north of London and just off the east side of the A1 road to York and Edinburgh. It has been seen by the eyes of the world. Stamford, most famously, is known for its medieval 17th and 18th century stone buildings, including many old timber frame buildings and its conspicuous 5 medieval churches. Stamford has very much a mixed economy, with many of its capital coming from the industry services, agriculture and tourism. Along its historic high street it offers a wide variety of shops for passersby to indulge themselves in. Many of the shops now formed from the buildings of many previous ones. Doing so, the overall high street has changed very little in appearance over time. Stamford's unique layout has contributed to a lot of films being made. This street behind me, straight here, that's where Pride and Prejudice was filmed, or a certain scene of it. The history of the town can be traced back for over 1,000 years. Stamford became one of the first towns to produce glazed wheel-thrown pottery after the departure of the Romans. By the 13th century, Stamford was one of the 10 largest towns in England. It had a castle, 14 churches and 2 monastic institutions. With the removal of the main wool trade in the 15th century, it forced the town into decline, and the trade that remained was concentrated in the hands of rich merchants like the Brown family. These merchants helped rebuild many of the churches in the mid to late 15th century, including St John's, St Martin's and All Saints. It's always a great sight. Some of the original stone structures which surrounded the town can be still seen today. Into the 16th century, Stamford was linked to national affairs by the fact that a local man, William Cecil, became Secretary of State to Queen Elizabeth I. He built a palatial mansion just outside Stamford for his mother, and Burghley House survives as one of the crowning glories of the Tudor age. One of the great things about Stamford is that it has many preserved historic walkways. Ones like this, for example, could be up to 1,000 years old. Although the arrival of the railway in the 1830s seriously affected Stamford's coach trade industry, with the main line to the north bypassing the town cancelling out most of the industrial work, like many shire towns, Stamford evolved and produced skilled engineers, such as those at the former Blackstone. You see, wherever you go, there's always a bit of history staring at you in the face. I've seen one of these before. One of the things I like about Stamford is its ability to adapt and make new houses and new builds, which are usually a wonderful addition to the town. If you're approaching to Stamford by train, this walkway behind me is the first thing you'll see when you enter the town. Also on your way down, don't forget to get one of these. You don't want to get yourself lost now, although it's no London. Getting lost is never a good thing. Now, the actual river which goes through Stamford is the Welland, and many fishermen and local fishermen in the area take advantage of the fact and use it to fish a lot, obviously. Although personally I wouldn't go swimming in it because, well, it looks a bit cold to me. Now, although it's a lot more attractive in the summertime, the Meadows is always a great place just to visit and wind yourself down. Stamford also boasts a wonderful area of recreational ground and surrounding fields and country for pursuing any given activity. The Stamford Meadows offers people a chance to fish, rest, walk your pets and jog around it as much as you please. Stamford is the go-to to many of those who want to seek the finest of English culture, history and a more slow and peaceful life. Stamford's ability to remain the way it does lies in its pragmatic approach towards adapting new shops and businesses into the 21st century, while at the same time conserving what's best about the town. The two things work hand in hand beautifully, and they resonate throughout the whole appearance and attractiveness of this place. I hope you've enjoyed my tour, and don't forget, whenever you're in Middle England, pop a visit to Stamford. You won't be disappointed.